Hey everyone, like most years, the NFHS has released several rules changes for the 2024 season, along with new case plays. This includes several that don't relate to changes in the rules book, but do correspond to new interpretations. So in this video, we'll review the 2024 rules changes and the case plays related to those rules. Now, if you want to see how well you can do on the case plays before the review with me at the end of the video, you can find a link in the video description. Hi everyone, Patrick Farber from GHSA Baseball Umpire Development and Umpire Classroom, where we help umpires develop their knowledge and skills. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe to our channel, and if you're looking for a packaged course for new umpires, either for yourself or for your association, you can learn more about it by visiting our website at umpireclassroom.com. So this year, there are 3 rules changes that you need to know. The first is Rule 1-6-1. Any wristband with defensive shifts, offensive plays, pitching choices, or game directions attached shall be considered non-electronic equipment and is permitted as long as it is a single solid color. For pitchers, it may not contain the colors white, gray, or be distracting. It does not have to match the color of the uniform or the sleeves worn underneath the uniform jersey. It shall only be worn on a player's wrist or forearm, and pitchers shall wear it on their non-pitching arm. Penalty: the umpire shall issue a team warning to the coach of the team involved, and the next offenders of the team will be ejected along with the head coach. So that's a long addition to the rules book, but let's break it down to 3 key points. First, any wristband has to be worn properly, which is on the wrist or on the forearm, but definitely not on the belt. Second, pitchers must wear it on their non-pitching arm. And third, for pitchers, it must not contain the colors white or gray, and it also cannot be distracting. Now, the second rules change comes in Rule 1-6-2, which states one-way electronic communication devices are permissible from the dugout to the catcher while the team is on defense for the purpose of calling pitches. When using the electronic communication device, the coach cannot be outside the dugout bench area. Penalty: the umpire shall issue a team warning to the coach of the team involved, and the next offenders of that team will be ejected along with the head coach. So this is a change that will be somewhat similar to what we see at the professional level, but definitely not the same. To start, this technology is only allowed to be a one-way communication from the dugout to the catcher. They are not allowed to use it for the catcher to communicate to the pitcher, or for the dugout to communicate to the pitcher. So if you don't see your catcher giving signals to the pitcher, either you have a pitcher that only throws one pitch, or a team improperly using communication equipment. The other takeaway from this rule is going to seem obvious, but we need to double down on it. The coach using the device must be in the dugout or the bench area. I don't think this will be a major issue, but the violation you are most likely going to see will be a coach sitting behind the backstop trying to call the game from there. Now, when we look at the penalty, note how it says, after a warning, the next offenders of that team will be ejected along with the head coach. Now, hopefully it will not ever come to this, but I want to review with you the part where it says next offenders. This isn't clearly explained in the case book, but the way I read the rule is specific to the coaching staff and not the players on the field. So if a violation occurs after the warning, eject the head coach, and if someone else had the device, that coach as well, but you don't need to eject the defensive player that was improperly receiving the calls. And it pretty much reads the same, but know that they added the rule in 3-2-5, which only stresses more that the device can't be used on offense and can't be used to communicate to any player other than the catcher. Finally, the last rules change is a clarification to Rule 10-2-3H. They removed the umpire-in-chief's ability to forfeit a game for infractions by the fans and spectators. The mindset here is that game management is to deal with problems outside the confines of the field and not the umpires. That being said, you can still request that game management handle sportsmanship issues coming from the fans if you're aware of it and see it impacting the game. Then, if game management fails to adequately respond, you can't forfeit the game, but it absolutely needs to be in a game report. We had an issue with this last year in a GHSA game, and a significant fine was levied against the school for the poor actions of the game administrator. So please don't be afraid to report these issues. They only get addressed if you report them to your signers, who can then take them back to the state association. So now that we've reviewed the 3 rules changes, let's go through some of the new case plays for 2024. Case play number 1. Players from a team are wearing information about defensive shifts, offensive plays, and other game instructions on their belt. Is this legal? The correct answer here is no. This hasn't been legal in previous years and continues to not be legal into 2024. Case play number 2. The pitcher is wearing a wristband on the non-throwing arm with defensive pitch information attached. The wristband is a single solid color, not distracting, and has a white card listing the pitch choices. Is this legal? The correct answer here is no. The pitcher, regardless of which arm it's on, cannot have a white note card that's visible as part of their armband. So if they had a black flap that goes over and covers it completely, then that would be legal. But if the white note card is visible, like it is in this picture, then that is not legal for the pitcher to wear. Case play number 3. Team A's catcher is struggling to understand signs from the dugout. He requests time and yells into the dugout, "Guys, you can't both keep sending signals." You realize that both the head coach and assistant coach are using electronic devices to send signals to the catcher. Is this A, this is legal, B, this is legal, but the umpire should enforce the pitch clock and charge a ball for the pitcher taking too long to pitch, C, this is illegal because only one coach can have access to the device, the head coach should be warned that another violation will result in his ejection, or D, this is illegal because only one coach can have access to the device, the head coach should be immediately ejected. The correct answer here is C. Only one coach can be sending signals from the dugout to the catcher. The penalty for this is going to be at first a warning, and then after that, anyone who violates this is ejected along with the head coach. Case play number 4. Team A uses a one-way electronic communication device to communicate from the third base coach's box to the batter. Is this legal? The correct answer here is no. The only time a team can use an electronic communication device is from the dugout to the catcher. There is no scenario where they can use it on offense. Case play number 5. Team A uses a one-way electronic communication device to communicate from the dugout to the pitcher. The plate umpire notices this and warns the head coach that this is illegal. Later in the game, the Team A pitching coach is seen in the dugout using the electronic communication device to communicate with the pitcher. Who is ejected? The correct answer here is that Team A's head coach as well as their pitching coach will be ejected for the violation. The pitcher will not. We're ejecting the pitching coach because they're the one actually using the device improperly after the warning, and the head coach is also ejected because he already got his warning as well, and there has been another violation by his team. Case play number 6. Both teams are using a one-way electronic communication device to communicate from the dugout to the catcher for the purpose of calling pitches. Team A's communication device stops working in the second inning. Is Team B still allowed to continue using its electronic communication device? The correct answer here is yes. Just because one team is not able to use it, either by equipment malfunction or they just don't have an electronic communication device, that doesn't impact whether or not the other team can use their electronic communication devices. Case play number 7. Team A's catcher is wearing a one-way electronic communication device on the wrist. In the 6th inning, the catcher notices it is not working. The catcher requests time and goes to the bench to quickly exchange the faulty wristband for one that works correctly. Is this a defensive conference? The correct answer here is no. This is not a defensive conference if they're going off of the field to quickly replace malfunctioning equipment. Case play number 8. Team A's catcher is wearing a one-way electronic communication device on the wrist. In the 6th inning, the catcher notices it is not working. Team A's coach requests time and it's granted. He then goes to the catcher near home plate to fix the device. Is this a defensive conference? The correct answer here comes from the new case plays, and that answer is yes, this is a defensive conference. So if we have someone from the defensive dugout go out onto the field to handle this, that's a charged conference, but if we have the catcher go to the dugout to get the equipment changed, that is not a charged conference. Case play number 9. With no outs and R1 on first base, B2 hits a hard ground ball to F6 playing directly behind second base. F6 fields the ball, steps on second base, and throws to first in an attempt to double up B2. R1 is running standing up in a straight line to second base and is hit by F6 throw. R1 is about halfway to second base and did not intentionally interfere with the throw. Is this A, this is a violation of the forced play slide rule, R1 is out and B2 is out, or B, this is not a violation of the forced play slide rule, R1 cannot be expected to slide at that point in the base path the play stands. So this is another addition to the 2024 casebook, a new case play that doesn't really correspond to any new rules, but does have a new rules interpretation. The correct answer here is B, that this is not interference. The logic here is that if they're so far from the base that it wouldn't make any sense to slide, for example, just halfway to second base, then they can still stay standing upright. They just can't veer off in the direction to interfere with the play. Case play number 10. The umpire-in-chief may forfeit the game for infractions by spectators. This statement is false. For the 2024 season, it's been changed that the rulebook does not give the umpires permission to forfeit a game based off spectator behavior. We do need to work with game administrators to handle anything that's impacting the game on the field, and any violations that you notice should be reported back to your assigner. So there you have it, our review of the 2024 NFHS baseball rules changes. If you found this video helpful, be sure to subscribe to our channel and check out our website at umpireclassroom.com. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the field.